A lot of tailors are undercharging their customers without even knowing. Today, I am going to show you the right way to charge your customers and maximize profit. Hello and welcome, my name is Juliet. So today we are going to go over the pricing formula, the actual pricing formula you need for your sewing business. So first off, let's look at the formula. I'm just going to list the formula out for you first. Let's look at it. So the formula involves, please pardon me if I'm looking down, I have my notes here, I don't want to miss anything out. So the formula is fabric plus material plus labor plus overhead plus profit margin equals to charge. So what does all this mean? I know that it's not making any sense now, but stay with me. I'm going to show you. I'm going to explain in detail what each of these each component of this formula, what it means, right? So starting with the fabric, that's like the most obvious one of them all. The fabric is just the material you're going to use to make the clothes. Now, when it comes to bespoke tailoring, which is the area where I have experience, customers will most times come with their own fabric. So you don't always need to, but there are some cases when they will not, and you will need to get the fabric for them. So in cases like that, the formula will include the fabric. But if they are bringing their own fabric, your formula will start with the material. So fabric, I'm sure we are clear on this one. It's just the material that you're going to use to make the outfit. So the next on our formula is the material. Now this material, it refers to sewing materials. Every tangible thing you need to make the outfit, from your lining, zip, interfacing, brow cups, hemming gum, everything, thread, all of that, including your transport to the market. So this is what the material in this formula stands for. So what it means is the amount of money you're going to use to buy everything, all the materials you need to make that particular outfit. You're going to add them together. And also in this part of the formula, it's not just you're not just going to just calculate the prices of the materials you need and then add them together and this is your labor cost. No, you need to add a buffer. So about, like, let's say 10%. I will explain. 10% of, okay, after you add everything you need, that's the money for your transport to the market, your lining, your zip, your thread, your everything. You add all the amounts together. Whatever it comes, you're going to get 10% of that amount and add it to the material cost again. We're going to do a lot of calculations in this video, so just prepare your mind. So whatever you get, the total of your material cost, you're going to get 10% of that and then add it back. Let me give you an example. Let's say you need 10,000 Naira in total to get your lining, everything, transport to the market and all of that. You're going to get 10% of that 10,000 Naira, which is about 1,000, if I'm correct. So you add that 1,000 Naira back to the 10, making it 11. So now your labor cost, instead of being 10,000, is now 11,000. So that is the labor part of this formula. So the next one is the overhead share. So there are two things. There's overhead cost, but what we need in this formula is not just the overhead cost, it is the overhead share. So the overhead cost is how much money you need or how much money you spend on your business in a month. That includes your rent, it includes your light bill, your maintenance, like machine maintenance, equipment, your scissors. You know, from time to time you need to change your scissors because they go blunt. And every other thing, I think taxes will also fall under this this overhead cost, even though we don't pay taxes every single month. But yeah, I think you should be calculating your taxes every single month so that you have them ready by the end of the year. But this is basically, and then also if you have staff salary also falls under here, depending if you pay salaries or commission, whatever, it also falls under this overhead cost. So by the time you get your entire overhead cost for the month, in Nigeria we pay rent yearly, so you're going to calculate your rent per month. If your rent is 150,000, your monthly rent will be about 12,500. So that is what you're going to calculate to get your rent for the month, and then how much you use to maintain your machines and every other thing. You're going to put that all together. You will add the prices, the amount, you add the amount all together, and then you will divide it by the total number of orders you get per month. If you're just starting, you may not know You'll just have to estimate for now. It's important, that's why it's very important to maintain like a business database. In my subsequent videos, I'm going to show you how to create and maintain a business database system. So for now, if you don't have any information, if you don't know just how many orders you get in a month, you can just hope. So if, let's say you get like 10 orders in a month, once you get your overhead cost for the month, you're going to divide it by 10. So whatever amount you get from that division, that is the overhead share. That's the figure that we need in the formula, the overhead share. Good. So let me explain one more time. So your overhead share is your total overhead cost for the month divided by the total number of orders you get for that month. So each order is going to contribute to that overhead share. That's simply what it means. The next thing now is the profit margin. This profit margin now depends solely on you. I did a little research, and what I found was that there's a standard which is about 30%, 30 to 40%, or even 50% and above, depending on you, your experience level and all those things. But from 30% up. So how do you get this? Where are you getting this 30% from, which is your profit margin? Because I missed something. Hey, Jesus. I missed something. Hey. I missed labor. Before we get to profit margin, there's labor. Hey, God, do I start afresh? So we have covered fabric, we have covered sewing materials, and then I jumped labor to overhead share. It doesn't matter. There's no... Yeah, but it's good to follow the formula like that so you don't miss things up next time. So let's go back to labor. So labor now is how much you are going to pay yourself for your time and energy on that outfit. This depends on your experience level, how much you think that you are worth, and then the difficulty level of that style. So, I mean, you cannot charge the same labor cost for a style that is easy to make as the one that is difficult to make. So your labor cost for more difficult fabric should obviously be higher than smaller or less difficult material. So labor cost, you just decide how much do I want to charge myself to make this outfit. You're the one that's going to decide. Pay yourself that labor cost that you want. So yeah, let's say you're making a simple gown. You decide, okay, my labor cost, I'm going to do 12k. This guy is going to take me a day to make, so I pay myself 12k. Or you can decide that, okay, this guy is going to take me 3 days to make, and per day I am going to pay myself 4,000 naira. So you're going to calculate that 4,000 naira by the 3 days, and that is going to be your labor cost. Before we now go to profit margin. So I had my notes here so that I don't jump anything, but I still ended up skipping labor cost. So before you go to your profit margin, which I said the standard is about 30%, 40%, depending on you, but at minimum 20%. But you can decide if you want to do the work of God, you can make it 10%. Or if you're doing charity, you can decide to not even have a profit margin at all. It depends on you. But 30%, I think, is fair. So before you get the profit margin, you need to add your fabric cost, your sewing materials cost, your labor cost, and your overhead cost together. Addition. Fabric plus material plus labor plus overhead. You're going to add that figure together. Then whatever total you get from adding the figures together, that is your cost price without profit. That is just your cost price. So it is this cost price now, the total of this cost price is what you are going to calculate the profit margin from. So from this total price, you are going to get 30% of it. Let's say after adding your fabric, material and all of that, you got 100,000 naira. So you're going to calculate 30% of 100,000 naira as your profit margin. So I think 100,000 naira, 30% of 100,000 naira will be like 30k. So 30k is now your profit margin. So your formula will now be price of fabric plus price of material plus price of labor plus price of overhead plus the profit margin, that's the 30k. Then whatever total you get, that is the what's it called? Hey Jesus. Whatever total you get, that is what you will charge your customers. Now, if you do this every time, there's no way you're going to undercharge. Plus, you're not going to give your customers prices in a hurry. That is where they used to catch us. Madam, please, I'm in a hurry. What's how much? How much will you make? You will say a figure, and then you will not want to go back and change it later on, so you don't look unprofessional and all of that. So let's look at an example. I'm going to give you a case study right now. We are going to look at one outfit. Let's say a customer comes to me and say, Madam, I need you to make this dress for me. Let's say, good. So let's say a customer comes and say, please ma, make this, I need you to make, oh, why is this so, it's not showing well. I'm going to put it on the screen, but and this thing is supposed to show now. It's supposed to show. It's supposed to show. I think you can see it. There's a way it's reflecting at the perfect. Let's say a customer comes and say, make this outfit for me. See? Good. And then we're going to assume that the client came with their Ankara fabric, so we don't need that. So our formula is now going to start from sewing materials. You're going to get a piece of paper. You are going to write out everything that you need to make this outfit. You're going to, including the amount you need. So for this dress, I'll say for lining, we need 3 yards of lining. But depending on your type of lining, it can be, depending on your type of lining, let's say we're using regular Aba lining, so we need 3 yards. That will be 700 Naira per yard times 3. You're going to put 2,100 Naira for that one. Then we also need interfacing. Now it depends on you or even the client. Are you going to add interfacing to the entire dress, or you're going to add interfacing to only the upper part? That would determine how many yards of SD you're going to buy. So let's say I'm using interfacing on only the upper part. So we'll buy 1 yard of SD, which is 800 Naira. Next, we need a zipper. So we're going to buy a good quality zip. Let's say 1,000 Naira for zip. Next, we need thread. Like 2 pieces of thread should be enough to make this dress start to finish. So buy 2 threads. Let's say thread is 2 of them is 500 Naira. Next, we need hemming gum. We may not use the entire hemming gum for the dress, but we shall need a bit of it. Let's just assume 250. Let's allocate 250 for hemming gum to this outfit, right? Next, we need padding for the breast. So it depends if you're using bra cup, whatever it is you're using for the breast area. So I'll be using breast pad. We just get a quarter. So there's yard, there's half yard, there's quarter yard. So quarter of a yard for the breast pad, let's say 400 Naira. Then packaging. Now when you finish making this outfit, you need to package it into something to send to your customer, or even when they come to pick it, you still need to package into something before they get it. It could be branded nylon, it could be regular nylon, shades nylon. You're not going to steal it, so you add it. So let's say 500 Naira for the packaging, and then transport to the market. Let's say from here to the market and back is about 1,500 Naira. We are going to add that, and then after everything now that we have added, our amount is about 7,050 Naira. So we're going to calculate 10% of this 7,050 Naira now. That's the buffer I was talking about. This buffer is in case prices increase. Anything can change. You can go out and transport from 300 is now 400. Or you can go to the market, line is no longer 700, it's now 750, it's now 800, that kind of thing. So it's good to like make room for this increments before you charge your customers, because it will not look good if you now go back and start saying prices have increased to add money for me, and it will also not feel good if you now have to add your money to get this material. So this buffer is very important. 10%, you can make it 15, you can make it sharp, anything you want to use, but let's say 10. So 10% of this 7,050 naira is about 700 and something. So I just round that up to 1,000 naira. So now our materials cost is now 8,050 naira. I'll put that one aside. The next thing we need now is labor. So for this dress, it's going to take me 1 day to make. The difficulty level, it's not so much. Like I said, I can make it in a day. Let's say like 12k for labor. Let's say 8,000 naira. Let me see, 8,000 naira for the labor cost. So we have materials, we have labor, that's it. Now we're going to calculate overhead. Rent, first of all. How much is your rent? Depends on your shop. So let's say the rent of my shop is 150,000 naira. I am going to divide that 150,000 naira by 12, which is 12,500. So my overhead for the month, where as to rent, is 12,500. Then light bill. Let's say light bill in a month, I pay light bill of 7,000. We'll allocate 7,000 naira to light bill per month. This is going to be different depending on your own overhead, how much you spend in your shop on a normal, you understand? Some people use generator every other day, so you might need to add fuel to this overhead cost depending on how much you use on fuel per month. But yeah, you need data, right? Or Wi-Fi, however. But let's say data for the month, I allocate 13,000 naira. And then there's also maintenance. You need to maintain your machines. If you don't maintain it, they will just spoil. You still repair. So maintenance, repairs, however you want to put it, amount of money that you use for that in a month, I have I say 5,000 naira. Allocate 5,000 naira to that. Then salaries. Do you pay salaries? Do you have workers? Do you do commissions? Whatever it is, or even however it is, you can. I'm not going to include that because I know that a lot of us, we work by ourselves. We start with only us first before anybody comes to join. Then advertisement. You need to advertise your business. So depending, how do you want to advertise? Is it by making fine outfits and wearing to show off in church or something, or by running ads on social media, or however it is you want to advertise your business, because it's very important. A lot of us don't do it. See, I'm going to make a video, alright, telling you why or how my sewing business failed. But for now, let's just leave that one. So let's say 5,000 naira for advertisement in a month. We are going to add all of this together, and this gave me 42,500. So overhead cost of running my tailoring business for the month is 42,500. So I'm assuming that in a month I get 15 orders. So I'm going to divide this 42,500 by 15. 42,500 divided by 15 gave me 2,833 naira. So I'm going to round that up to 3,000. So my overhead cost is, my overhead share is 3,000. Alright. So the next thing we are going to do now is the cost price. So the formula, I know is one straight formula, but before you get the last or second to the last part of the formula, you need to get the total of the first. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, you need to get the total of the first 4, which is what is called the cost price. So for now, we are going to add our 8,050 naira plus our 8,000 naira for labor plus our 3,000 naira for overhead share. And then that is going to give us 19,050 naira. At this point, see, you can round up. Instead of 19,050 naira, you can make it 19,500. Or Kokuma make it 20. So, this 19,050 naira now, we are going to now get 30% of it, which is what I have decided that is the profit margin for this outfit. So 30% of 19,050 will be 19,050 multiplied by 1.30. See, if you know maths, know how to get the percentage of 30% of this, I think it's 19,050 multiplied by 1.30. When you do that, sorry, once you do that, whatever you get becomes your profit margin. So wait, let me calculate this thing. Multiplied by 1 point, multiplied by 1.30. Eh? Is it multiplied? Jesus. Hey God. Oh Jesus. How do you get percentage? It's divided by 1.30. It's not divided. This thing is not working out. Because let us check. How much is 30% of 19,050? All I do. Wait, let us check this thing. So the 30% of 19,050 is 5,715 naira. So like you already know, we're going to round this up. So it's going to be 5,000, let's say 5,800. That is the profit margin. So now we have 7,000. We have 8,050 naira plus 8,000 for the labor, right? Plus overhead share of 3,000 plus profit margin of 5,800 plus yeah, that's it. Then the total we have 24,000. We have 24,850. So you can round that up or leave it like that, or just make it 25k. So to make this dress now, I'm going to tell this client that their money is 25,000 naira, non-negotiable. If you like the idea of negotiating, this is the point where you add extra so that by the time they say reduce something, to come down to 25. But 25,000 naira is what you are getting, non-negotiable. Now, you see how time consuming or how difficult or how very easily you can make mistakes trying to calculate this thing like this every time a customer comes to you to make the outfit, right? That is why I have put together a calculator, a spreadsheet template that automatically calculates this thing for you, right? It has the columns and the formulas are already in it. All you need to do is put in your actual prices or actual amounts, and it's going to automatically calculate your final charge for you. The percentages, you can edit your percentage. I did it in such a way that you're able to edit. If you want more than 30% profit margin, you can edit that. If you want more than 10% buffer, you can also edit that part. But the rest of the spreadsheet is not, you can't edit it, as you risk losing the formulas in it. So once you input your prices, it calculates everything for you automatically, so you don't need to waste so much time always trying to do this again and again and again, trying to calculate manually, which you can definitely make mistakes if you try to do that all the time. So I have this template available. You can get it for as low as 5,000 naira, but I will be giving it away for 50% less for the first 15 people. So if you're among the first 15, you can get it for 2,500 naira. I will leave the link to purchase it in my description and also in the comment section below. And if for any reason you are confused, my WhatsApp link is also in the description box. You can message me and I will guide you on how to do that. Also, this template is mobile friendly. That means that you can use this thing completely on your phone. You don't need a laptop. You don't need to, just your phone is enough. What you need to do, however, is that if you don't already have the Sheets app in your phone, you may need to install that application, and you have this on your phone anywhere you go. You can calculate these prices anywhere you go. right? I think it's a very useful tool to have. It's going to save you a lot of time and energy. So this is it on how to charge your customers the right way without losing money, without getting angry while you're sewing, because it feels as though you're sewing for free. Thank you for watching. Please like this video if you learned anything from it, and if you are not subscribed to my channel, I want to encourage you to please click on the subscribe button and also the notification bell, so that you can get notifications when I post newer videos, when I post English. Also, you can join my channel membership if you want to support me even further for exclusive content. The link is also in the description box below. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.